going to be talking with we're going to be talking with one of our students that took her exam recently. She took her exam in December. She took her exam in December and she got um ah, let me be sure of her score. I know she got band 9 in IELTS listening. That one I'm sure. She got band 9 in IELTS listening, but the others I can't remember. She got band 8 in one, band 8.5 in one, and then maybe 7.5 in another one. But we are going to be talking with her very, very soon, and then we are going to be learning from her. So, you guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask and drop your question. I will not unmute you guys. You are going to have to type your question in the Zoom chat for me to read the question. Okay? So for those of you who are just joining, I want you to scroll up in the Zoom chat. Just scroll. You are going to see a book that we have posted. I've posted 2 books now. 2 books. You are going to have to scroll up the chat. I'm not going to post it again. If you ask me to post it, I won't answer. Just scroll up the chat. You will see it. Because if everybody's asking me to drop again, I won't do anything today. I'll just be posting. So scroll up the chat, scroll up the Zoom chat, and you will see the 2 books that we have posted for you to download. I'll still drop 2 more. I have 2 more books to drop for you guys tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's move straight into the business of tonight. We have 3 businesses tonight. 3 things. The first thing, I've already started it. I'm dropping books. I'm dropping some books for you that can help you with your IELTS journey. I'm going to talk about those books very soon. The second thing we are going to do is that we are going to be talking about these 9 steps. That's the second thing. The third thing is that we're going to be asking questions. We're going to be discussing with our IELTS crusher of the month of January. Well, this should be January anyway. I have another person standing by for February. And then we have somebody else for March. Most likely we'll get 2 or 3 people for March. Very, very likely, because I have some odd students in my group this month that, I mean, I'm trusting that some of them will get band 9 in two modules. So 9 steps, 9 steps to success, 9 steps to a high band score. The first thing I'm going to tell you guys is that word. I'm going to give you the first 2 steps. Those first 2 steps are extremely important. They are like the foundation. They are the foundation of success in high IELTS. Those first 2 steps that I want to give you, they are the what? They are the foundation of what? They are the foundation of success in this word, in this exam. Okay, and what is the first step? The first step is to set a clear goal. Set a clear goal. That's step 1. These people don't really appreciate the importance of setting a clear goal. Set a clear goal. What do I mean by clear goal? What is the band score that you need? That's what I mean by clear goal. Okay, what is the band score that you need? Okay, 7.0. Okay, 8.0. Okay, 9.0. Set a clear goal. As part of setting your clear goal, another thing is knowing the type of IELTS to take. Some people enter my DM and they tell me they want to do IELTS. And the first question I usually ask, if that person is getting my number, is chatting with me for the first time, the first question I usually ask is, which one are you preparing for? IELTS academic or general? And then they start telling me they don't know. They start asking me that which one should they do? I'm like, you should know now. So you must be clear about the type of IELTS you want to do. And you must be clear about the goal. What band score do you need? Okay, do you need 9.0 in everything? Do you need 8.0 in everything? Do you need 7.0 in everything? You must be clear about your goal. It's extremely important. That's step 1. That's step 1. Okay? Step 2. Let me give you step 2, and then we are going to bring up our IELTS crusher, and then I will ask her a couple of questions, and then we'll continue from there. Step 2 is to what? Identify obstacles. Or let's put it this way. Identify and prepare to deal with obstacles. You see, if you are going to achieve your goal of a high band score in high IELTS, It will not come easy. I'm telling you now. It's not going to come easy. Anybody who has tried to do this exam or who has done this exam before will understand this thing I'm saying. There will be obstacles, there will be challenges, okay? There will be oppositions from here and there, from different quarters. Majority of them will be legitimate. Okay, when I say legitimate, there will be valid issues, valid concerns, issues that are taking your time. For example, let me give you an illustration. There's a student I am teaching currently now. There's a student I am teaching currently now, and he just fell sick some days ago, and now he has been admitted to the hospital. We can't do our class again. Our class has been suspended because he's on admission. That's an obstacle. You understand now? Some people, the obstacle they face is maybe their work schedule. There's another person that I've been chatting with for some days now, and the problem that I've been having with our own, what's it called, classes, there's no time. She goes to work from 8 o'clock in the morning, closes at 9 p.m. at night, and she goes to work practically every day. How does that person want to prepare for IELTS? So there's a very huge obstacle. I don't even know how I'm going to take that person classes. That's another type of obstacle. We have the obstacle of money. Some people don't have the funds. Some people don't have the funds. Or maybe they don't have enough funds yet. Some people have to save and save and save and save. I know some people like that. They saved money for their IELTS. There's one story I had sometimes ago. This has been a long time ago anyway. Somebody saved money and saved money and saved money to pay for the exam. By the time the money the money was ready, by the time she got the complete money, the week she got the complete money was the week that British Council increased exam fee. Can you see serious problem? That was the week they increased the exam fee. That's obstacle, financial obstacle. So you will face challenges, I'm telling you now, but you must be determined that nothing will stop you. Okay? Be determined that what? Be determined that nothing will do what? Nothing will stop you from what? From pursuing that goal of what? That you have set before you. Nothing will stop you from pursuing that goal and achieving that what? Achieving that goal. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, I have reposted free gift number 1. Download it again now before your network logs you out again. So, goal number 1 step is to what? Set a clear goal. Number 2 is to what? Identify and prepare to deal with obstacles. Some obstacles will be easy to deal with. Some of them will not be easy to deal with. That's just the utter truth. But then you must decide that what, no matter what, the obstacles will not stop you. Nothing will stop you from pursuing your what? High IELTS dream. Okay? So let's move. Let's bring up our IELTS crusher now. Her name is Chikamso. Okay? We like to call her Kamso. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. So, Chikamso, I want you to unmute yourself. Let's hear your fine voice. Let's hear your fine voice. Let's hear your fine voice. Are you there?
Hi, good evening.
Okay, good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good to have you. Let me start by saying congratulations to you on your IELTS results.
Thank you, sir.
So, tell me, let's just let's see. Let me just ask a couple of questions and let's see what we can learn from your experience. So, let's start with this. What was your target when you started preparing for this exam? What did you have in mind that, okay, oh, if I can get this band score, if I can get this band score, what was your target? What was, like, let's say maybe your goal before you started your preparation?
Okay, when I started preparing for my IELTS exam, I already had in mind that I wanted to get a band 8 overall. That was my target.
Okay.
I always had a band 8 in mind overall, and then probably a band 7 or a band 8 in the other different skills.
Okay.
So
Ah, I'm not hearing you again. Oh, oh Chikamso, can you hear me?
I worked towards. Can you hear me?
Okay,
Yeah, I can hear you.
I think it's clearer now. Please, can you come again?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, I'm hearing you. I had that one now. I had your question now.
But can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Okay. Okay, so I said from the onset, I always had in mind that I wanted the band eight
Okay,
overall, and that
okay,
was what I worked towards.
okay. So band 8 overall, and that's exactly what you get. I think you had band 8 overall. So the breakdown of your results, your score in IELTS listening, that was 9.0, am I right? Ah, network. Oh, hey, I can't hear you again, Ochikam. So, hey, who is hearing me?
Can you hear me?
Let me see. Okay, yeah, I'm hearing you now. It seems the network in your area is weak or something. Let me know if is anybody here.
Hello?
Okay, is anybody hearing me? If
Sorry,
you
my
guys,
network is bad.
the network in your on your side is bad. I mean, network at your side is bad, right?
But I
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Okay, you're hearing me now. Okay. All right, let's go over that again. So I said that your listening, what was your score in listening was 9.0, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What of reading?
I had and writing was 7.5, then speaking was 8.0.
Speaking was 8.0. Okay. So
Yes,
listening was the highest, followed by speaking, and then reading 7.5, and then writing 7.0. Wow. So overall, it was band 8.0. So let's see. How long did it take you? How long? When did you start? You took your exam in December, right?
yes, sir.
So when did
Yes.
you start preparation? How long did it take you?
Can you hear me?
Okay, come again. How long did it take you?
Okay, I started preparing for my exam from September last year.
September. Okay.
Yes.
So that's 3 months. September, October, November, December, or let's say 4 months of preparation.
Ye-
Approximately 4 months of preparation. Now, this question I'm asking is very important because I see people that come into my DM and they want to try and do IELTS in 1 week. That's this 1 week I said now is a latest information. Somebody still chatted with me today, and the person is saying that he wants to, I don't know whether he's a man or a woman, he's saying that he wants to do IELTS in 1 week. The person wants to do IELTS before the end of February. Today is February 21. The person wants to do IELTS in February. And what I responded, candid response, is not advisable, it's not risky. I won't recommend that. But he said he needs the results before the end of this month. And I said, okay, no problem. You can do it. So, I mean, what do I do? But you see, if you don't give yourself the time, the quality of your result will not be as good as you want it to be. Okay, so you need time to prepare. One of the obstacles that I said earlier on is time. I talked about it earlier on. You need time to really prepare for this exam. You need time to study. You need time to practice. So, ladies and gentlemen, please keep that in mind. And when we say time, Chikamso now says that she spent 4 months. Now, that 4 months is not just that the 4 months passed. She was doing some things sometimes every day, sometimes 4 or 5 times in a week. There's a group that we have. That group is called IELTS Champions Hub. Okay. So I set up that group in November last year. In fact, this is where Chikamso became so very active, aside from the fact that she was a part of our master class, our group class. So I set up that group in November, and the people that were added to that group were the people that were taking their exams in November and December. Chikamso was one of the most active people in that group. She was always doing the exercises and submitting her work, always doing the exercises and submitting her work, always doing almost every day she was posting something in the group that this is what I've done, this is what I've done, this is what I've done. I mean, I knew that, well, this person is going to get a good result at the end of the day. So daily practice. So when we say that you should dedicate time to your preparation, we are not just saying that just let the time pass. No, there are certain things that you need to be what? That you need to be doing. There are certain things you need to engage yourself in during that period, during that time. Do you understand now? So number one is what? Have a clear goal. It seems Chikamso's network has gone off. I can't see her here again. Okay, when she comes back online, I'm going to unmute her. So number one is to what? Is to have a clear goal. Number two is to what? Identify obstacles and deal with those obstacles. Step number three, let me give you step number three. What is step three? Step three is to get the necessary materials. Step three, get the necessary materials for study and preparation. Get the necessary materials for what? For study and preparation. In other words, you need to lay your hands on helpful textbooks and practice test materials. Helpful textbooks, practice test materials, and websites that have qualitative IELTS materials. Ladies and gentlemen, there are some websites that the materials there are not going to help you. The materials will teach you rubbish, or they will get you confused. They will get you confused. There are some YouTube channels that you will go to that they will cause more they will cause more harm than good. I'm telling you now. There are some good YouTube channels that you will get information from. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, can you hear me now? Let me see your message if you can hear me. Let me know if you are hearing me. Let me know if you are hearing me. Okay, thank you very much for that feedback. I can see that. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right. Network is really weak, but then we are gonna finish this thing up. Network will not stop us. Network will not stop us. Okay, so I was talking about I think I was talking about materials, right? I was talking about materials. That's number three. Number one is to what? Number one is to set a clear goal. I think that's number one. Set a what? Set a clear goal. Set a clear goal. Number two is to what? Is to identify and prepare. Number two, identify and prepare to deal with obstacles. Number three is to what? Get the necessary materials. Materials. When we say materials, we're talking about textbooks, practice tests, okay? Textbooks, practice tests, lessons. Lessons actually comes under number four. Okay, number four is enroll for intensive coaching. Enroll for intensive coaching. When I say intensive coaching means a coaching program that exposes you to IELTS every day. What did I say? Did I say once a week? No. Twice a week? No. Every day. Somehow, that coaching program must expose you to IELTS in one way or the other every day for a minimum of 30 days. That's the barest minimum. For a minimum of 30 days. So when I say exposed to IELTS materials, exposed to IELTS, it can be in terms of lessons. There are some teachers that do IELTS lesson every day. I don't do that for all my students. There are some students that cannot do lessons every day. That's just the truth. Yeah, some people don't believe that. There are some students, I've been into teaching for a long time. I know some students cannot do lesson every day. It's not possible. They will not come, or they will come and they will not be a part of, they will just not be active in that class. Okay, so I don't do lessons for everybody every day. There are certain things that, I mean, there are criteria for me to do lessons with you every day. Okay, so but then there must be a kind of exposure you are getting every day. So is it that you are doing lesson every day, or you are doing lesson 2 or 3 times a week, and then on the other days of the week you do some kind of exercises? Now that's what I do. So we do 2 classes a week for some of our students. For some other students, we do 3 classes a week. And then on the other days of the week, we give them exercises to do. And they submit those exercises. We keep records and we know who is submitting and who is not submitting. That's what I mean by what? Intensive coaching. Coaching that gets you engaged. Coaching that exposes you to what? That exposes you to IELTS materials, either in form of lesson or in form of exercises, every day. You understand now? You should enroll for intensive coaching. By the way, intensive coaching is not free coaching. This one we are doing now is a free session. It's a free session, and it's just something to enlighten you guys further and help you understand what it takes to really crush this exam. This is a kind of free coaching. Sometimes we do free training where we talk about IELTS subject matter, where we talk about things that have to do with IELTS listening. In those sessions, I teach about how to solve questions in IELTS listening. In those sessions, I teach about how to solve questions in IELTS reading. I just touch some aspects for free. I do those classes for free. We do it once in a while, not all the time. We did one I think is that December or January? I can't remember now. We are still going to do it again. I did not finish. I wanted to do it for 30 days that time. But when we got to day 15, some things came up and then I had to suspend it. And then we're going to continue it very soon. I don't know when. But when we say intensive coaching is a paid class. You're going to have to pay for that class. You understand? Don't always look out for free stuffs. I know we are Nigerians. Somebody told me one time that Nigerians love free things. But I don't quite agree, because there are some Nigerians that actually pay for qualitative stuffs. So please don't underestimate the importance of coaching. Some people, all they do before they do the IELTS is that they go to YouTube and they watch videos on YouTube. I have seen people like that, and that thing, it doesn't end well. For majority of those people, it doesn't really end well. Okay? When you go, just when all you do is just to watch videos on YouTube, let me tell you what will happen. What will happen is that you are going to become an expert at watching videos on YouTube. That's what you become expert at watching YouTube videos. On the exam day, unfortunately, you are not going to be asked to watch YouTube videos. You are going to be asked to answer questions. You are going to be asked to solve questions. Okay? That's what you will do on the exam day. So if you have not practiced well, if you have not learned the strategies and you have not practiced those strategies, on the exam day, there will be reasons. So step 5 is what? Participate fully in the classes. What do I mean? During the time of classes, make sure you join. Join the Zoom class if it's on Zoom. If it's on Telegram, join the Telegram classes. I don't use Telegram. Some other people use Telegram. I don't use Telegram. Some people use Microsoft Teams. Some people use Google Meet. Whatever it is that your teacher or your tutor or whoever you are working with is using, participate fully. If you don't have a notebook for your IELTS, you are not participating fully. You are not just joining the class so that you can listen to somebody. No, you need to be writing things down. You need to be writing things down to be sure that, yes, you are really, really learning from this thing. If you have a child or a sibling that is in school and the child doesn't go to school with books, what will you say about that kind of child? Is that kind of child serious? No, it is not serious. It's not serious. So one of the ways you show your seriousness is what? Is by participating fully in the what? In the classes. That's number 5. That is what? That is step 5. And then step 6. I'm going to ask Chikamso a question here. Let me learn one or two things from our experience. Step 6 is to do your assignments, okay, and submit for assessment, correction, and feedback. You see, this is where intensive coaching comes in. If all you do is to watch YouTube videos, who will you be submitting your assignments to? Nobody. Who is going to give you feedback? Nobody. But when you enroll for somebody's coaching, you join our class, maybe personal coaching or group class, you have somebody to submit your assignments to. The person checks what you are doing, and if he notices anything that is unusual, he's going to tell you. He's going to ask questions, and then he's going to give you feedback on what to do. That's where step 6 is extremely important. Very, very important. There will be assignments for me personally. After every class that I teach, I give my students assignments. There must be assignment after every class. It's a compulsory course, compulsory thing. And like I said earlier on, we always post exercises for them to do every day. Some of them are in this class now. I can see some students who are in our ongoing master class now. They know that we post exercises every day. Every day. Most of these groups, most of our paid groups, there's exercises to do every day. So there must be assignment for you to do. There must be something for you to do every day. Okay? Chikam, so are you there?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. So let me ask you something. So in the process of preparing for your exam, let me see. One of the things I always tell people is to solve lots of questions. Okay? How many questions did you solve? For example, for your listening now, how many listening tests did you do? Did you count? Can you recall?
I did a lot, so I can't count.
You
I
did
did
a
a
lot.
lot. Yes, and I made sure that every day I do at least 4 listening practices every day. I try to do the full test every single day. So I did a lot. I can't count.
Eh? So wait, oh, if you did 4 every day, let's even assume that, let's be conservative. Let's assume that you did 4 listening tests every day for 1 month. That means you must have done about 120.
Approximately.
That's serious. Very, very serious. Somebody is probably thinking, where will I see 120 listening tests? If you join our group, you're going to see more than 120. I'm telling you now. You see more than one. There's a website I used to share with my students. That website contains 200 listening tests. 200 on that website. So you see why Chikamso was able to get band 9 now. She did a lot of listening tests. A lot of listening tests. If I want to check, there's a record I have in our the Champions of that Chikamso joined. That I can just check that record and see the number of tests that she did. Actually, I can check it. But then I'll have to be scrolling my phone and that might distract me. So the point is what? You must do a lot of exercises. That's step number 7. That takes me to number 7. Let me write it out. Number 7 is to what? You should practice a lot. Number 7, practice lots of questions. I have something we call the 48-hour rule. I'm going to explain that rule to you. The 48-hour rule. What does it mean? What it basically means is that you must study, and this one is particularly for practice anyway. You must practice each module for a minimum of 48 hours. Okay? So let's say you do 1 hour per day for IELTS reading. That means you must do that for 48 days. That's the minimum. Oh. That's the minimum. IELTS listening, 1 hour per day for 48 days. IELTS writing, 1 hour per day for 48 days. IELTS, which other one? IELTS speaking, 1 hour per day for what? For 48 days. I call it the 48-hour rule. There's another one I call the 100-hour rule. That means a total of 100 hours for everything before you register for your exam. Minimum, a total of 100 hours. So the idea is to what? Practice a lot of questions. Why is this important? On the exam day, you are going into the exam to solve questions. That's what you're going into the exam to do. So it's important that you practice solving questions now, so that on the exam day, that mode of solving questions will just flow naturally. It's just going to flow. It's just going to flow naturally. It's very, very important. Let me ask Chikamso another question. There's another question that is coming to my mind. Let me see. Chikamso, what are the
Yes, sir.
challenges? What are the challenges and obstacles that you faced while preparing for this your exam? Can you tell us some of them? Did you face any challenge or
Okay.
what?
The main challenge I had was where I stay. Where I stayed when I was preparing for the exam, we didn't have like steady
Hmm,
electricity, so my devices were always low most of the time.
hmm.
So I ended up having to borrow my sister's devices just to do the tests
Wow.
sometimes.
So you had
Yeah,
to borrow your sister's devices to do the test. You did not allow electricity problem
yeah,
to stop you. Okay? So Chikam, so
yeah.
you were not working during that time, right?
I wasn't exactly working. I was doing a training at the time.
You were doing a training.
So
Okay. Okay.
yes,
So
so
that
it
was
gave me
also
flexibility.
okay. All right. So I want you to give advice to people who are working. People who are, let me see. Let's see from your own angle. How would you advise somebody who is working, let's say like a nurse now? I think you are a nurse, right? Are you?
Yeah, I'm training to be a nurse.
You are training to be a nurse, all right. So look at nurses, and I'm sure you know one or two nurses, and you know how hectic their work can be. So let's assume that you want to advise a nurse who is running a very busy shift, and they want to prepare for IELTS. How would you advise that kind of person to manage their time? I mean, what would you tell them to be able to do? What would you tell them to do to be able to squeeze out time for preparation and all those things? What should they do?
Okay, first of all, in my own opinion, if you prioritize something, you will always make out time for it, no matter how busy your schedule is.
Okay.
That's first thing. And then you don't need to actually do a lot. I
Hmm.
mean, you can take out 15, 20 minutes of your time every day, no matter how busy your schedule is, to just practice. Even if it's just one skill or two skills, you can practice for the
Hmm.
day. I
Okay.
think the one thing that is very necessary is for you to ensure that every single day there's something you do every single day, like
That's
when while working
consistency.
towards your
Hmm.
yes. So I think it's very necessary for you to practice every single day, no matter how little the time is. Because there were days I didn't feel like doing anything. There were days I had to go out. There were times I travel home and stuff like that. But I always ensure that I make out time, no matter how little it is, to practice and to familiarize myself with the tests. So
Hmm. So it's not about spending 3 hours per day or 4 hours per day. It's about what? Doing something, no matter how little, even if it's just 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Do something every day. Be consistent. I think that I love that. That is very, very important. Consistency is the name of this game. Every day, make sure you are doing something. And that's why in our groups, I always like to ensure that we post something every day for people to do, people to practice. So you can just pick one and do something. Pick one and do something. So I don't sweat about the scores. Anybody who is in our group and who notices what we do is that I don't check the scores. What I just give points to is what? The fact that you have done it. That's your point. The fact that you have done it. That's the point. And that's what we're emphasizing now. That expose yourself to these IELTS issues every day, every day, every day. It helps you to become more familiar with the subject matter and helps you to get prepared. All right. Okay. So let's talk about motivation. Motivation. Some people, for
Okay.
example, you said something earlier on that there were times when you did not feel like doing anything. Maybe you were on a low mood and whatever. How can somebody stay motivated with this IELTS matter? That's one question. Let me give you an insight. Sometimes some people will do exercises. So, for example, Chikam, so imagine somebody doing IELTS reading exercise, and then the person scores 22 over 40. That person will feel so bad, and the person will not want to try IELTS reading practice again. How can that kind of person stay motivated? Do you understand my question?
Yeah.
How can somebody stay
Okay, well,
motivated? Right. Go
for
ahead.
me, when I started out, the first few weeks, my scores were not the best.
Eh,
Honestly speaking, my
wow.
scores, especially for reading, I always had an issue with true false not giving and yes no not giving. Even
Hmm.
till my exam day, I always
Mhm.
had an issue with that.
Wow.
But I made it a point of duty to always try every day, no matter how. Even if I fail, I will just keep trying. I will keep getting better at it, keep familiarizing myself at it every day.
Hmm.
So I feel like for you to stay motivated, first of all, you check the price of the exam.
The
You know
price
that
of the exam.
that exam is not something you pay for twice. I mean, if you come for the money once, you have to pass it. You don't have a choice.
Your body will feel it. Ah.
Yeah,
Hey.
so when I was budgeting for the exam, like I knew that I had no plans for writing it again. Whether I
Hmm.
was motivated or not, I had no plans to sit for it twice.
Okay.
So yes,
So the fact that you didn't want to do it twice was one of the things that told you that, oh, my friend, go and carry your book and keep on practicing this thing. The only way
yes,
to
sir,
really
yes, sir.
master this thing is to practice. So, ladies and gentlemen, that takes me to step number eight is to what? Step number eight is to, let me write it out, is to get a, excuse me, please, is to get a strong motivational factor. Get a strong motivational factor. Okay? Now, the motivation can come in different forms. I'm going to tell you different kinds of motivation that I've seen in different students. There's one man that I know, the way the man supports his wife to do this exam. Hey, God, I beg you. I've not seen that kind of thing before. She will just tell the wife, Shebi, it's me that I'm paying for this exam. You will do it again. That's what the man was telling his wife. And I was like, ha, he wants this one now. That day that they came to my office, I was wondering what's going on. The man was like the motivation that no, you can pass this thing. People have passed it, you too, you will pass it. Don't worry, forget the money. Me, I'm the one paying. Let me handle the money issue. So that's one level of motivation. That one is kind of external. For some people, your motivation has to be internal. You are going to be the one telling yourself, no, 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 I must pass this exam. You're going to tell yourself, you're going to look at what benefits are you going to derive. For example, some people say the reason why they are taking this exam is that they want to get a job in the UK, or they want to get a job in Canada, they want to get a job in the US. And that's what's motivating them to take the exam. Some people, they are taking the exam because they want to go and study abroad. So you need to put something before you that becomes a pulling force. A pulling force that tells you that if you don't pass this exam, you will not get this job. If you don't pass this exam, you will not get this visa. If you don't pass this exam, you will not get this, you will not get that. That needs to become your motivation. Some people, their motivation is that they want to run away from their country. For example, Nigeria now, they want to leave. Some people, some of you here, you need to make that your motivation. You want to exit, you want to leave Nigeria. You want to carry yourself and your family. If you have a family yet, you want to carry yourself and your family out of Nigeria. That's another kind of motivation. So get a strong motivation, something that keeps on pushing you, that even when you don't feel like doing anything, you are going to go and open your book and you will check what you have set as your motivational factor. and your goal, and you will tell yourself, this thing must not fail. This year 2026, I must achieve this goal. This year 2026, I must relocate. This year 2026, I must get this job. And for me to get this job, I must pass IELTS. So there must be a strong motivational factor, ladies and gentlemen. Strong motivational factor. Now, every once in a while, let me pivot into something interesting here now. Some of you already know about this. For those of you who don't know, you are gonna know about this now. Once in a while, about 2 or 3 times, I've done it 2 times now. I'm going to do it 2 times again. I did it 2 times last year. I'm going to do it 2 times again this year. So once in a while, we used to do a competition in my school, in my academy, 10 times better academy. And what we do is that students that get band 8.0 or more in their high ELTS, we're going to give them $90. Either we give them $90 as $90 or we give them the Naira equivalent. 90, sometimes it's $90, sometimes it's 90,000 Naira. But in this particular case, the one I did in December, what we announced is that we're going to give them $90. Just one student anyway. We're going to give the best student $90. That's the student that gets band 9 in any module. So what we announced was that if you get band 9 in any module, maybe listening or reading or writing or speaking, and then we check all the other modules and there's nothing like 6.5, then you are going to qualify for that gift. And of course, you must be one of our paid students. You must have registered for one of our classes. It's not this that gift does not go to a free student, a student in our free group. You must be in our paid group. So Chikamso was one of the people that saw that thing, and then that also fueled that motivation. She was already motivated before she saw that anyway. No, she wasn't motivated because she saw the money, whatever offer. She already had in her mind that, okay, oh, I want to use this test for something. She had something that she wanted to do, and that was what was pushing her. But then when she now saw that post, she was like, this is free money now. Oh yeah, now let's go now as a Nigerian. And she pushed herself further. And I'm so happy that she was able to achieve that good score. So we said that yes, we are going to keep our word and we are going to give her the prize money. So she has won herself what's it called? $90 in prize money. And we are going to send her the money today. We are going to send her the money. So Chikam, so I want you to send your account details. Let me send the money and then people will see that yes, so Coach Tayo has kept his promise. I want you to send me your account details and then we're going to process it. I'm going to get it before the end of this our session. So let me drop point number 9 and then we're going to round up on that note. Let me drop point number 9 and I'm going to explain point number 9. And this point number 9 to me, this is like the most I don't want to call it the most important, but it's like the most critical. Let me use that word. And I'm going to explain what I mean. Do your best on the exam day. Okay? Do your best on the what? On the exam day. Now, I'm going to share a story with you, and there are similar stories. There are stories similar to what I'm about to share now. Okay? So I had a student some times ago, and the student was preparing for IELTS. And what happened is that 3 days to her exam, she was attacked by robbers. I don't know exactly what they did. I think maybe they shot her or they stabbed her or something. She was attacked by robbers, and what happened? She was really destabilized. Unfortunately, she did not really tell me. I'm not sure whether she told me or maybe she told me later. She went for that exam, but she did not pass the exam because she was not in a good mood. She was not in a good, not even mood. The issue is not even mood now. She was not in a good state of mind because of that issue that happened. I've heard of people that will go for IELTS exam. There's one I'm remembering now. She went for the exam and the person that sat in front of her was coughing over and over and over during the exam. I think the person had some kind of infection. I don't think it was COVID, some kind of cough infection. And the person was just coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing and coughing all through the exam. And she said that that person distracted her, and that was why she was not able to concentrate during the exam. I'm telling you some strange issues. Oh. Another person, This person, she told me that she sat in front of the AC on the exam day. And it so happened that on that, before the exam day, she was feeling feverish, a little bit feverish. And then she got into the exam hall. They put her in front of AC. Guess what happened? She did not do the exam well at all. Another person, so many, because I only want to know what happened on the exam day. Because you see, your success in this exam is a function of three things. Three things. Number one, what you do during your preparation. That's before the exam day. That's number one factor. Number two factor is what your teacher teaches you. That's number two factor. Number three factor is what happens on the exam day. You see, that issue of exam day, I personally really cannot influence that. That's why usually we tell people that what? Pray that nothing bad will happen on the exam day. Pray that nothing bad will happen before your exam day. Pray that you will have the strength to what? You will have the strength to do your best on the exam day. So when I say do your best on the exam day, let me tell you another thing about doing your best on the exam day. One of the things I tell people with IELTS writing, this is one of the tips that you are going to hear me talk about if you join any of our classes. I still talked about this today, is that when it comes to IELTS writing, you should start with task 2. This is very, very important. During today's class in the morning, the class I took in the morning, can you guys hear me now? We are back. Network will not stop us today. We are going to finish it up. Okay? Let me know if you are hearing me. Can you guys hear me? Who is hearing me? Let me see your feedback if you are hearing me. Let me get some response if you are hearing me. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. So I'm talking about the last step, which is what? Doing your best on the exam day. Okay, so I was talking about something that happened with some of my students. So I said that what? Usually we tell people that start with IELTS task 2 writing. In fact, maybe I should just give that. Let me give that as one of my free tips for tonight. This is one of the tips. There are about 70 tips when it comes to people ask me about tips. Don't worry. One of these days, I'm going to release a book of tips. This is one of the tips for success in IELTS, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the tips for success. The tip is that word for IELTS writing. Start with task 2. Okay, and I'm going to show you why this is important. I'm going to show you. I did this during today's class in the morning. So let's say we have 2 candidates. Let's call number 1 person candidate 1. Candidate 1. Candidate 1 decides that he doesn't want to start with task 2. The candidate 1 decides to start with task 1. And then it spends so much time. Let me tell you something now. No matter what you do, the task that you start with is the task that you spend a lot of time on. That's IELTS writing that's IELTS for you. If you start with task 1, you're going to spend a lot of time on it. If you start with task 2, you're going to spend a lot of time on it. That's why we always say start with task 2. Now, let's assume candidate 1 decides to start with task 1 and then he puts all his energy into task 1, which accounts for 33% of your writing score. Now, when the person gets their score for IELTS writing, when the examiners assess that person's task 1, they give that person 8.0 in task 1. But then the person did not have too much time to do task 2. And so that task 2 was very poor. And at the end of the day, the person gets maybe 5.5 in task 2. That's candidate 1. Okay? Now let's look at candidate 2. Candidate 2. So this candidate 2 decides to follow Coach Tayo's advice. And the person decides to start with task 2. So when the person did task 2, he did it very well. This person got 8.0 in task 2, but then he did not have enough time for task 1 because he spent a lot of time on task 2. So at the end of the day, he got 5.5 in task 2. In task 1. Can you see what I just did? I just inverted the figures. Now, when they calculate the scores, this is how they calculate the scores. I want you guys to punch your calculator for me and tell me what the answer will be. So the writing score for candidate 1 is going to be this. This is what is going to be at the end of the day for candidate 1. They are going to say 8.0 plus 5.5 plus 5.5. Everything divided by 2. That's what you're going to do. So I want you to punch your calculator and tell me, please. Who has calculator there? Tell me what the answer will be. 8.0 plus 5.5 plus 5.5 divided by 2. What does that give us? Anybody? 8.0 plus 5.5 plus 5.5. Everything divided by 2. What does that give us? I need 3 or 4 answers so that we are sure of what we are calculating. Okay, somebody says the answer is 6.3. Any other person? Is any other person getting 6.3? The answer should actually be 6.3. So at the end of the day, this person will be given a band score of 6.0. That's what they will give the person. You know why? Because their task 2 score is very low. So that task 2 score will drop that 6.3 to 6.0. Now let's check candidate 2. The writing score of candidate 2 is going to be this. Look at it all. At the end of the day, candidate 2 is going to get what? 5.5 plus 8.0 plus 8.0. Everything divided by, what's it called? Everything divided by 3. Sorry, this thing should be 3, not 2. It should be 3. That's a mistake. Everything divided by 3. So what is the score going to be? What is this one going to be? I want somebody to calculate for me. What is this going to be? This 16 plus 5.5, that's 21.5. The answer should be 7 point something. Thank you very much. 7.1. 7.1. At the end of the day, the score is going to be 7.0. So you see the gap, ladies and gentlemen. Let me change the color of this thing. See the gap. Because somebody decides to start with tax 1 and they did not do tax 2 very well, they got a band score of 6.0 in IELTS writing. Another person decides that, okay, well, let me start with tax 2 and do it very well. The person did not do task 1 very well at the end of the day, but they still got a very good score. In fact, enough score to, for all standards and purposes, band 7.0 in writing is a very good score. Now, I had this particular student that I taught this thing. I said that what? Start with tax 2. I always mention it anytime I'm teaching writing. I always mention it. But this guy, on the exam day, he did not start with tax 2. He started with task 1. He spent as much as 45 minutes on task 1. 45 minutes. And his task 2 was not qualitative. At the end of the day, he got 6.5 in IELTS writing. All the other modules, he got 8.0 in one, got 7.5 in one, got 8.5 in one. Only writing was 6.5. The thing pained me a lot. It pained me. Really, really pained me. I was like, why did you start with tax 1? I was asking him, why? So for all standards, the guy was good. He did well during our classes. I was very hopeful that, yes, this guy would do well. He would get nothing less than 7.5 in all his modules. But on the exam day, he just decided to do something else. To me, he did not do his best. That's my interpretation. So when I say do your best on the exam day, what I'm saying is that what? Stick to the plan that your teacher gave you, that your coach gave you. One of the plans I give people is what I'm telling you now. Start with tax 2. Okay? So do your best on the exam day. For example, let me give you another one I used to tell people when it comes to IELTS reading. When it comes to IELTS reading, one of the things I tell people is what? You should start by reading the question. Don't start by reading the passage. That's one of the tips. That's another tip that I give people. Don't start by reading the passage. Start by what? Start by reading the questions. Okay? You read the questions, you identify keywords in the questions, and then you go to the passage and scan through the passage for the word, for the keywords that you identified in the question. That's it. That's how you maximize time. That's how you improve your word. That's how you improve your word. Your chances of getting your IELTS reading completed within the short time frame. I hope you guys get my point, ladies and gentlemen. So please take these things, keep this. I've shared 2 very important tips tonight now. And then I've given you 9 steps. I hope you guys will put it to work. Okay? Of course, you see, I've talked about a lot of things, and I mean, so many, but we're going to put this recording together, and then I'm going to put it on our YouTube channels for you to YouTube channel for you to watch again and again. Let me see, Chikamso, have you seen your prize money? Let me unmute Chikamso so that she's going to give us. I want you to give us closing. What's it called now? Closing remark. Is Chikamso there? Let me see. Okay, yeah, she's there. All right, Chikamso, do you have any final notes? First of all, let me know. Have you seen the money?
Yes, sir, I've received it.
You have received it. All right. Congratulations to you.
Yes, sir.
Don't win prize now.
Thank you very much, sir.
You don't win prize. Okay, so give us the closing remark, closing charge. I want you to challenge somebody. There are some students that are in the master class that are in this group now. I want you to challenge them. There are some students that are not in the master class. I want you to challenge them also. Give us a closing remark, and then I'm going to wrap up everything.
Okay. Um, well, all I can say is this exam, it just needs you to be consistent and to put in the work.
Hmm.
If you put in the work, you will see the results that you're looking for,
Hmm.
right? And uh, some people tend to get scared when their exam dates are getting closer. I was scared when my exam date was. I did not sleep the
Yes.
night before my exam.
Eh? Okay.
Yes. So, yes, we just have to, as long as you put in the work, definitely the results will come out positively. Remove fear, remove tension, just do your
Hmm.
best.
Don't let the fear
That's
stop
the
you.
most
Hmm.
important thing. Yes, and always be consistent. Consistency matters.
Consistency matters. Okay, thank you very much for that. I want somebody to tell
All
us
right.
what one thing that they've gotten from today's class. Let me see. Let me just see one or two people. I want you to tell me one thing. What is the one thing that you have learned from today's session? Let me see. What is the one thing that you have learned from today's session? Let me see. Anybody? What lesson have you learned from today's session? Let me see if I can reshare the books that I posted earlier on. I'm trying to see if I can reshare those books. I'm waiting. Oh, those of you who are still with me, I want you to tell me one thing. What is the thing that you have learned from all that we have discussed? Our discussion with Chikam. So all the points that I also shared. What have you learned? What have you learned from our discussion? What have you benefited from our discussion? What's it called? What have you benefited from our discussion? Okay. All right. Somebody says consistent practice. Very good. Consistent practice, no matter how busy you are. Practice consistently. Okay. Very good. I like that. Practice consistently. Somebody says being consistent is the key. Okay, another person says daily practice and consistency. Very good. Somebody says keep on practicing every day. Keep on practicing every day. Wonderful. Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. Let me see again. Another thing. Let me check some other things. Somebody said um to be consistent in practice no matter the obstacle. Somebody said I learned to start with task 2. Yes, very, very important. Start with task 2 for your IELTS writing. Okay, start with task 2. That's extremely important also. Then somebody said get something to motivate you. Okay, get something to motivate you. That's a very, very important one. Somebody said, motivate yourself. Motivate yourself. So you must also be because the issue of motivating yourself is important too. Because sometimes if you are waiting for external motivation, it may not come. That's the hard truth sometimes. External motivation may not come as you want it to come. Okay, but if you learn to motivate yourself, that's going to be it. Okay, so I've posted the book, I've posted the Bible of IELTS reading again. I'm trying to look for the other one, but I can't find it. I can't seem to. Let me try and see if I can get it. I need to go for another session now. Okay, I think I've seen it. So I'm going to share the other one. This one is an essay. This one is for task one writing. Task one, academic task one, right? That's for academic task one writing. So those are the two books I shared earlier on. There's another book. Let me see. There's another book. I think it's titled Nine Steps. Let me see if I can drop that also. Nine Steps. Yes, this is an ebook. This is an ebook that I created some times ago. Nine Steps to Band 9.0. It talks about some of the things I've also talked about during today's class, and then you're going to see more stuff there. So, ladies and gentlemen,